Welcome to the light, my brothers and sisters of God. My name is Adolphina Shephard, and I am the host of our new TV show, God's Way YATUVAY, where you will learn many, many new things never seen before, where you will see things you've never seen before. And I'm here with my co-host, Thomas Knights Templar.
How are you? Yes, I'd like to welcome you to this show and our studio audience, and introduce you to our guest today.
Hello.
This is Melanie Palyubicki, and she is she channels Michael the Archangel in her practice, and she'll tell us a little bit about that. Introduce yourself, okay?
Hello. I'm Melanie, and I'm an energy healer, and I work with Archangel Michael, clearing energy. And I also get guidance on using crystals and stones during these healings.
Okay, well, I've invited Melanie to be here today because Melanie is going to assist us in another energy experimental exercise. And I encourage everyone to participate in this because you're going to be learning great new things. So that'll be later on in the show. In the meantime, let me tell you, we'll be focusing on Christian evolutionary spirituality. And why is that? It is because we are in the time frame now of the golden era, where we are going into the 1,000 years of peace that's been promised to us by God. And along with this 1,000 years of peace that we're going into, we are also going to become superhumans, where we're going to have enhanced abilities. And watching this show will guide you and get you ready for all of that. So now there's a couple of reasons I want to explain to you why we're going to be focusing on spirituality, Christian spirituality. And that is because, number one, when you just speak about religion, you're only learning about someone else's religious experience. But when you're speaking about spirituality, you're speaking about your own religious experience. And that was number one reason. Number two is because, I don't know if you've ever thought about it or not, but you know, we're not spirits having a human experience. I'm sorry, I got that backwards.
You sure did.
Yeah, I did. We are not humans having a spiritual experiencing. We are spirits having a human experience. And that is because, you know, God is a big spirit. And we are too. And we are just atoms in the body of God, each one of us. So we all have a God particle in us. And so our goal was to bring you into a closer relationship with God. Now, I don't mean just praying. I mean so you can hear God. You can walk with God. And I have a little story to tell you about when I first started my walk. Now, here I was just starting to walk with God, and I'm in a doctor's office, a chiropractor. And little did I know that I had an appointment with other people, divine prophetesses. So here I am in the waiting room, and these three women were there, and they're having a conversation, and suddenly out of nowhere, they start talking to me.
They included you in.
Yeah, they included me in.
Three wise women.
Yeah. So now we're talking about my work, and the woman said, she said, "What do you do?" I says, "Well, I'm a healer." And so she says, "Well, can you heal me? My heart has been having such problems with it. I had a terrible relationship, and he broke my heart. And since then, I haven't been able to sing." And she was a songbird. She sang like you can't imagine, so she couldn't sing. So I said, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm on a sabbatical." I said, I really can't do anything right now. Because the Spirit had said, you know, you only talk to the angels and us 2 times a week and no healing for a year. And I was like heartbroken because that's what I did. So anyway, long and the short of it is so suddenly one of the prophetesses says, "The Lord is here." And I says, "Interesting. And he's telling you to sing to her, to the woman whose heart was broken." Well, you know, she says, "I can't sing. I haven't sung in almost a year." So
you were going to sing?
No, this woman who had her heart broken, she was a songstress. She sang like a nightingale. And so anyway, so she did proceed to then start to sing to me. And suddenly, oh, it was just so beautiful, I should add. So beautiful. She sang so gorgeous, and it was heartbreaking that she couldn't sing anymore. So, but she started to sing, and after she was done singing, she starts going, oh my God, my heart. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I better go call the ambulances, right? I mean, wouldn't you think that? So then she looks up at me and she says, you know, what happened to me just then? She said, you said you couldn't heal, but when I sang to you, my heart was healed. And this is the type of experience that you will have. That was a religious experience. You see, the Lord was there with us. He instructed her to sing to me, and in the process, she became healed. Now, when you start on your walk with God, these are the type of things that happen to you every day.
Synchronistic.
Yes, yes, it's very synchronistic.
It's very good idea that she didn't sing Manilow, because you really would have been crying. And those songs kill you, you know. So tell me some more about this.
Well, we're so thrilled. We've been having some wonderful testimonials come in that I gave to Tommy here. And we're just going to tell you one or two of them because we're just so happy with the reviews we've been getting on our first show. And this is our second show. So please tune in with us every month because you will grow greatly. So he's going to read them to you.
I like this one. This one here is from Catherine. And it says, thank you so much for the kudos. This is you answering her back, all right? I appreciate you letting me know that you enjoyed the show. Tommy is my brother in spirit, not by blood. He could be, you never know.
Yeah.
Right? We all know each other from somewhere, all right? I know Tommy's funny. We'll have a good time together. Thank you.
See what she said, Dan, here. See the one that's highlighted?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Okay. It says, hi, Adolphina. I had a chance to watch all of it. You did a fantastic job. I love your brother in all of this.
See, for Tommy.
Thanks for sharing.
He's good.
I'm her brother from another mother.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have another one here. Yes, I watched your TV show, God's Way YTVY. I love listening to you. Your words you speak touch my heart as if I'm in heaven. That's from Ann Ford.
That blew me away, truly. I mean, that touched me so much it almost made me cry.
We've been getting a lot of hits.
Oh yeah.
It's the actual page is on Facebook, under God's Way,
Yeah.
And like I said, we've been getting a lot of hits on the show. So feel free to go onto the site, and if you want to be studio audience, just let us know.
Okay. So this is the type of thing you have now. Another answer why we're doing what we're doing lies in Jesus. And that's because Jesus came in to show us the path. He came in to show us the path to tread. But people don't know that. They think that he came in just to save us from our sins. No, he came in to show us the path to walk. So now you got to ask yourself, well, what did Jesus do? Right? He healed people. He healed the sick, the lame, the blind, the weak. He even healed the dead.
And the wicked.
And the wicked, right? So, you know, we are all to rise up in spirit with that. Now, I do believe we have a little image that's going to come up with that one right there. So let me just go to number 2, I believe. So there's many verses in the Bible regarding laying on of the hands, which is what we all do and what Jesus does. So I'm going to read you this psalm, Mark 5:21-24. And when Jesus had crossed again in the boat to the other side, a great crowd gathered round him, and he was beside the sea. Then came one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name, and seeing him, he fell at his feet and besought him, saying, my little daughter is at the point of death. Please come lay your hands on her, that so she may be well and live. And he went with him. You see, this is what Jesus did, all right? And we are all to rise up to do these things, to help ourselves, to help our loved ones, to help our families. This is how we become whole and sealed on a soul level, okay?
Try to be for a house call today.
Yeah, say again?
I said try to get a house call today.
Oh yeah, try to get a house call today. You're right on that. Now, I do believe what I wanted to do also was tell you about what else he did, because this has been repeated 76 times in the Bible, 76 times. What did Jesus do 76 times in the Bible? He cast out spirits. He cast out spirits over and over again. How many times does he have to give us repetition to let us know that we are to do this, right? There's nothing else in the Bible. 76 times, right?
Sometimes
79
it just
times.
doesn't sink in. People don't understand that that's what he does, and that's what you can do too.
Right. So now, these are all gifts of the Spirit, by the way. I'm going to go to illustration 3. Okay? And this is about gifts of the spirits, because casting out spirits is the ability to distinguish between spirits, and you get rid of the bad ones because they hold us down under our thumbs. They keep us from growing. They keep us from our soul evolution. They keep us doing bad things. Okay, so we want to get rid of those that aren't any good. Now, for those of you who don't know, here is the psalm that talks about the gifts of the Spirit, because many people think laying on of the hands might be voodoo or whatever. No, it's not. It's God's work. Here we go. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I do not want you to be uninformed. You know that when you were heathen, you were led astray to dumb idols. However, you may have been moved. Therefore, I want you to understand that no one speaking by the Spirit of God ever says, Jesus be cursed. And no one can say Jesus is Lord except by the Holy Spirit. Now, there are a variety of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are a variety of services, but the same Lord. And there are a variety of working, but it is the same God who inspires them all. To each is given the manifestation of the Spirit for the common good. To one is given through the Spirit the utterance of wisdom. 2, utterance of knowledge. 3, to faith by the same spirits. 4, gifts of healing. To another, working of miracles. To another, the gift of prophecy. To another, the ability to distinguish between spirits. To another, various kinds of tongues. 9, to another, interpretation of tongues. And all of these are inspired by one and the same Spirit, who apportions them to each individual as he wills. So you see, when you're casting out the spirits, you have the discernment to know bad spirits from good spirits. So that is one of the things we're going to be doing later on in the show. We're going to actually give a prayer petition to God to cast out any bad spirits or energies not for your highest good. So I do believe, too, we have an image on that. I just want to take a peek. Do we have the casting out of the spirit prayer here? Well, we'll do that a little later, okay, because it's a little buried right now. But now I want to go to image 7. Now, in image 7 that you're going to see in a minute, it's by Thessalonians 4:4. And it plainly says, each of you shall know how to possess his own vessel in sanctification and honor. Okay? So this is all key. This is all part of your healing and your soul growth. Okay? So, this is where we're going. We're going to teach you how to do your own healing, to help and to heal others. Eventually, we're going to help you grow your soul so that you too can commune with the Godhead, with the Father, Mother, Son, and Holy Spirit. So we will go from there with that.
Sanctification is purifying our body to prepare for the energy.
Right.
To heal. Okay.
Right. You have to be clear yourself before you can heal any others.
Well, yes.
And, you know, when you start in your walk with God, you want to be able to have these gifts. You want to be able to hear. You want to be able to see. And if the first thing we're going to show you today, though, is where, when we do the energy exercise later, how you too can actually work with your angels, where we're going to teach you to feel what the angels put up for you. You see? And then you're going to be able to go from there.
Where are we at now? Melanie, let me ask you a question. In your walk with Michael, how did you come upon working with Michael? Most people are either Catholic or they're you know, Protestant or whatever, and they are basically honed into just the scripture and not really so much in depth into the angels. How did Michael come upon you when you came upon him?
I started doing meditation practice every day, and I would get visualizations of Archangel Michael coming to me, and there was synchronicities in my life. But you know, as far as the religious route, I've done that. I've been brought up in a family that was, but I kind of felt I knew there was more. There was more. I was being pulled to do something bigger, you know, or something that I felt this need to help others in a way, that there's more to that than just going to church every Sunday. Not that, you know, some people, that's their path, but for me, it was pulling me away from that. So the messages weren't there anymore for me in that
Right.
in that structure. So I started seeking more knowledge.
Well, you know what? You stepped onto your path then. As Jesus walked, you started to step onto your path, just what we were
You stepped
talking
out
about.
into your faith is what you did.
Right.
You know, I won't say your faith will be stagnated in organized religion, but it's very difficult to have a real relationship with God when you have a religion that's basically based on what man is telling you and not what God is telling you. God speaks to you, lives in your heart, lives in
Right.
all of us. You're all a piece of God. All right? You're all a piece of God. You're part of the I am presence. So know that and tell God, you know, that that you realize this, that you're a piece of God and that you want to walk with him and the angels, and you'll be in tune.
Yes, and I always felt like I was guided. You know, every
Guided to
class,
it, guided to
you know,
it.
how we met.
Yeah.
You know, it's all part of that divine
It was synchronistic.
inspiration.
Have you
Yes,
noticed that? I mean,
yes.
you go someplace, you meet people
Well-
out of clear blue. I never met healers before.
And it's
Every
even
place I go, I meet them.
and it's even like books. If you take a book and you say, "Okay, Spirit, what should I learn today?" and I open up that book, and it's just beautiful on how it all connects to that moment.
It's
that
funny you
moment in
said it
time.
because when I go to the bookstore, I am an avid reader. And when I go to the bookstore, I look at all the books that are in the field, and I look at them, and none of them appeal to me. And all of a sudden, the clear blue sky, there's one. The one, it seems to stand out. And then I notice the one they want me to get. So I get that, and I learned the lesson that's in there for me.
Yeah.
Now, also, we want to have up the symbol of YATUVAY, please. That should be image 4. Okay. Now, the reason I want to tell you about YATUVAY, because YATUVAY is very, very important. And it's important to the world at large because you see, YATUVAY is the missing 23rd letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Now, it's been taught since the 13th century that when the missing letter came back into being, that the world could become whole again, and that's just what's happening now. And so this is very synchronistic with 2012, with the golden age of peace and so forth. But YATUVAY is many things. It is also a symbol that you see there. It is also a numeric value of 1,000. And it is an archangelic number. It's an archangelic number that Archangel Metatron puts up. And he creates the elements for God, for creation itself on behalf of God. And this also is said that Metatron with the Hebrew letters also is the weights and measures of creation. Okay, so this is all come into being now. I received this about 8 years ago. So it is also called the Eye of Light, by the way, and it is holy. Okay. So it is the letter of the mothers that is already merged with the Father, the Godhead, of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Because you see, the world has been unbalanced until now, and it's still a little unbalanced.
It's been a man's world.
It's been a man's world, you see. And way before, when people worshiped the goddess, it was unbalanced because it was for the goddess. It was the female. We've never had perfect balance until YATUVAY came into being and merged with the letter of the Father. Okay, so this happened 8 years ago, and you can see the changes occurring to make the world better, because it said that all defects can be cured by when this letter came into being. So you see, we're right in the process of that right now.
With this particular letter, have you had any people who are, you know, Judaism, maybe try to say that that's not the letter, or this is not the time, or, you know, try to downplay it?
No, I haven't been contacted by any of the Hebrew or Jewish faith, and maybe because when they look at it, they know it's truth, you know. But I'm surprised that I haven't been contacted by some
It's
of
funny,
them.
you know, because I look at that symbol, and for some reason I see the DNA helix in it.
The creation of
Yeah,
life.
and
You see,
that's
Metatron
what
does
I'm
it.
saying. That's why I'm saying that
Yeah.
that's legit.
Yeah, because remember, I said Metatron controls the creation of life here on behalf of God. Also, I don't know if you know who Metatron is, but it has been said that Metatron is the voice of God. Okay, maybe it could be, I've seen this also said, that when God speaks, sometimes it can actually fry you. So Metatron speaks on God's behalf. That's what I've heard. And he's like his right-hand man, you might say. You know what I mean?
What happened the last time? I set a bush on fire.
Yeah, that's right. Now, YATUVAY is also an energy and modality. It's faith healing at its very best. And we will actually be teaching an episode each time with this so that you can be healed, your family can be healed, your loved ones, and you can actually watch each episode over and over again to receive these healing energies as we send it out. We'll do it twice today, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to be working with the grid system today in working with your angels. The first session we actually did a casting out of the spirits, the clearing of the negative energies. Well, every session that you do always begins with that, always, and don't forget that, and then we'll move on to the grid work. Okay, so I want to show you something else too. Is there the image of the butterfly? I don't remember the number on that. Yes, I want you to see that. I also wore my butterfly today because I wanted you to kind of see and cue it in. But basically, we're going to go through this. But the butterfly is symbolic because it goes like this. And this is how our spiritual body actually flows, just like that. And that's how it came to be that when you're transformed from the cocoon into the metamorphosis, you're now the butterfly. That's why it's always been associated with Christianity and other religions as well.
You release yourself from the chrysalis.
Yeah, see, there is the butterfly. Now I'm going to pull that up here so I can go into it, because you can see when you're in the...
Monarchs.
Huh?
Monarchs.
Yeah, they're beautiful, aren't they? Yeah. See, when we're in the cocoon, we're really stuck on stupid. You know, I mean, we have no idea who we are. We're stuck on stupid. You know, we're totally blinded. We don't even know who we are at that point. So we're still asleep, you see. And you can see as we move along to the right that we're still cocooned, but we're morphing, you see. And the third one in to the right is growing and expanding, so you're starting to awaken. And now the next one to the right is you're almost full grown. So you're awakening here. You're awakening. And now finally you're transformed through the metamorphosis. That's where we're going. Okay? We're going to take you from the cocoon to the metamorphosis of the butterfly. And we'll do this over the series of the monthly show. So that was part of it. Now from there, if we can go on to, let's see, image 6, I think it is, the chart of the spiritual body. It will have 5 sequences of the human, where we start out, where we're the cocoon.
This is our metamorphosis.
Yeah, this is our metamorphosis of a human, so you can see this a little bit better. See, the image on the left is the normal human, but who hasn't really started on his path, hasn't risen up and started walking on the way. You know, so, but everybody has seeds of the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, in their body, everybody. So it's a question of, again, what wolf do you feed? Do you feed the bad wolf or do you feed the good wolf, right? So as we step on our path and we rise up and we learn to start doing some healing, casting out of the spirits, we start to grow and expand the body, the spiritual body. The second one, you can see how it's starting to grow. Now, we're expanding the seeds, the third one in. You can see it's growing. As you're on your path, it's growing and growing.
Progressing, then you go to the final 2 stages where you are enlightened and you become a healer.
Right. When you get to the next one to the last, at that point you're a healer. Okay? You're growing your soul's evolution. This is how you grow your soul, so that you can walk with God, because God can't, you know, you can't hear God when you're at the picture all the way to the left. It's the very rare person.
I hate to use this thing, but this blunt head. It keeps coming into my
blunt
mind.
heads?
From my cone heads. The blunt heads, you remember?
Yeah.
It's like your eyes are open, but you don't see.
Right, that's exactly right. And that's what's meant by that. You have ears, but you don't hear. You have eyes, but you don't see. But when you, I don't know if you get all the way to the right on that picture, I'm sure you saw it where you're a human angel at that point. You have completed your metamorphosis at that point. So now you have expanded the seeds of the Holy Trinity, and now you have an expanded presence because of it. You're a human angel, you see. Now, on the last show, we did an energy exercise to actually show you the spiritual body. And can you bring up that picture, the one with our guest where we were doing the energy exercise? That might be in the very front, number 1. So you can kind of see what we were doing. I know we're skipping around a little bit here, but you have to go with the flow of the Spirit, you know. There you go. So here we are. This was at the last this first episode, and we actually would stand back and walk forward, and our guest would actually feel for the spiritual body, and it was greatly successful. Everybody could feel it. In fact, I don't think all the years I did that exercise that anybody could not feel it.
It looks like a high school reunion. I'm so glad to see you.
Yes, or Dancing with the Stars moment. So,
and if I can make a comment,
sure.
The more that you evolve, the more you can feel.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yes.
I agree with that, because you know what, folks? I couldn't feel for a good year because I had nerve damage in my hands. So, but I persisted with it, and eventually I could feel. So that was very good, you know. Yeah, that's when my hands got repaired. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. This is our prophet here, Thomas Knights Templar, and he's just getting messages as we go along. Okay, so we're going to continue on to where we're at. We did this one. Let's go over a little bit. Okay. Yeah, we can do that now if you'd like. We're going to do a little healing, faith healing for all of you. And so we got a prayer petition here for casting out energies. And we would love if you would all say it. You don't have to say it out loud, because Jesus hears you no matter where you are. And in the control booth and everything, and everybody on TV, if you would say this along, you will feel so much more at peace, and you will just love it. You'll see. Okay, so I'm going to say, you got that prayer up? Okay. We send energy to you, God, in the vibration of unconditional love, and we ask in the name of Jesus Christ that you send your great energy back to facilitate the work we are doing here today. We ask that you send the bubble of the Holy Spirit around our households for permanent protection, while clearing out all energies that are not for our highest good from our households and the bodies of those living in my house. Please name those that you want this healing to go to. And now we're going to move on and name our pets. So now we ask you, God, in the name of Jesus Christ, to remove all energies that are not for our highest good from our bodies and our sphere of influence in all worlds, all dimensions, wherever, whatever. We ask that filters be placed in our cords, palms, and feet chakras to prevent any backwash. We further ask that you send the vibration of viral, bacterial, fungal, toxin neutralization to neutralize any illnesses in our body during the clearing vibration for the length of time that is appropriate for each of us. Thy will be done. So we'll just send this energy out to you a little bit. And just take a moment. Well, I don't know about you, but I can sure feel that. What do you feel? You feel peaceful? Terrific, terrific. So that's our first step that we're going to be working with, is casting out. If you said that prayer along with us, it has been done for you in the second you said it. Now, that prayer is on my website, AdolphinaShephard.com. You can go and print it out so you have it to be said. I say it every day, once or twice, every morning and every night. So as we move along, we will be going through an energy exercise again to do some more repairs.
Adolphina, you were saying the grid repair that most people don't know is basically like looking at a globe. You have the meridians and you have the equatorial lines.
Yeah, could you
explain that a little further?
Yeah, can we have up illustration, I guess it's 9, so that we can show you exactly. Okay. All right, so I'll talk a little bit while they put that up. Basically, the grid system, you might picture it as a giant net thrown over your body. Okay, and in that net, you can get holes in that by electronics, by accidents, by just about anytime you hurt your physical body, you're also hurting your grid system. Let's see, also involved in that is the butterfly that we talked about through the prana tube. And we're still waiting for that image to come up.
While we're waiting, you could explain the prana tube.
Yeah, the prana tube is the center of our body. It goes up and down and around. This is the energy. There you go. This is the energy where God feeds you the life for energy, the energy for life itself. And that's where we get the symbol of the butterfly. When it goes around like this, you see it's in 2 parts. And so we want to make sure that's fixed always. Now, you see the little, where the black lines are drawing to with the little circles? That's called your chakras. And right there, they're equivalent to your spark plugs in a vehicle. Okay, so you always want to make sure that your spark plugs are open or your chakra isn't cleared.
Get a tune-up.
Yeah, you get a tune-up because, as you know, what will happen if they get clogged? The car balks and stops and stalls. And we were talking about the grid system, so I am getting to that. So you see the circles that are repetitive around the whole netting system. That is your grid system, and everybody should have a minimum of 7 of those and 7 main chakras. However, we are going to a 12 grid system and a 12 chakra system and a 12 grid system. So it's been my experience, though, that most people are only functioning on 3 or 4 grids. So, we want to get all those repaired. And so that's what we're going to be doing a little bit later, where we're going to go into, most people have a multitude of holes in here. So even if you were receiving the energy for life from God through your prana tube, it leaks out through the holes. So this is one of the reasons why people don't have the energy to, that's why, you get sick, you get chronic fatigue, you have heart attacks, etc., because the energy is not running your body if it's leaking out through all the holes. So this is very important to get this fixed up.
If the chakras aren't aligned and the energy doesn't flow properly?
Right. You're right, Tommy. You're right. So that was important to know. Well, that's one of the things we're going to be working on fixing today. In fact, we did a little healing earlier today on Melanie, and we're going to show you exactly how to do that as we go along. So now let me see where we're moving. Okay.
Difficulty finding the page?
Yeah, I'm looking for a lesson plan here, and it just takes a little bit of time. So I wanted to, we'll go into this. So let's see. We're going to have the picture up, illustration 10, I believe. There we go. Okay. Now, as you look at that, that's your spiritual body. Now, that's been called many things. The aura, the quantum body, the biofield. The electromagnetic body makes sense to me because we are electrical beings.
The God presence.
The God presence, right. Because remember, when we're in spirit, that's what we look like. We have that light around us, and that is electrical. So you see how we go, there's little arrows that go around. Well, we're going to be, this is holographic scanning. And I'm going to teach you how to do that so that you can learn how to do this yourself. So how about if we warm up our hands a little bit? So you can
feel the pulse.
Yeah, you can feel the pulsing, or the picture. You can feel the
picture was pulsing. The color was pulsing.
How about that? Did you hear that? How wild is that? Oh my God!
I only drank 2 days ago.
All right, now the thing that we want to do is we want to, you see Mother Mary here? I'm going to divert for a minute. Mother Mary wanted to come here today. I was actually looking for a little doll to bring to illustrate this exercise, and I couldn't find it. But I went down the basement to do some chores, to do some laundry, and lo and behold, there's a box on the floor with Mother Mary spilled out of it. And I don't know where the box came from. So I said, okay, I guess Mother Mary wants to be along with us. And she's the perfect size, too. So we want to envision a person that's about yay big, about the size of Mother Mary, okay? And this is working off the body, so you can discern how to help people, what they need. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a circle kind of like this, okay? Because Mother Mary is in it. She's the being in there. She's going to be inside that. So that's our grid system right there. So we're going to scan the outside of the body. And what we want to do is we want to ask, okay, you two can work together here. We're going to say on number 1, Jesus, please show me, are there any holes in Melanie's body, for instance, okay, on the outside of the body? And we'll start there. You want to try that?
My wife would probably tell you it's in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to just, we're going to try to scan Melanie. Just ask Jesus to put that up for you and ask to feel any holes in her energy system, in her grid system.
Lower, that side, lower, about here.
Okay, so she has that. What Tommy said was down here he could feel there's a hole there that needs to be fixed. Now I'm gonna do it as well. See, so we're gonna do this. Please, Lord, show me the holes in Melanie's system. Okay, you're right. I get it right there, a big one. Now my angels and Jesus shows me in size. They did that because of the nerve damage in my hands. Everybody can feel it different. Some people can feel hot, cold, tingling. Like
just feel more activity.
Yeah, more. We demonstrated how you can feel on the last show. So you're going to be looking for a hot, cold, tingly, or expansion, because my guidance shows me in the way of expansion, because it's just the way I learned because of the nerve damage. So when I did that and I asked, you see, she had a big hole here. Well, what happens if there's a big hole in your energy system? The energy's leaking out. Okay, so I would imagine that you're tired a lot.
Sometimes I'm tired, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you see, because we need that energy in our bodies to run our bodies. So if it's leaking out, or our systems are going to fail, or physical body starts to fail at this point. So why don't you see if you can do it too? Try the same thing. Ask to see Jesus if he can see any hole in Tommy's grid system.
My throat. I feel something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Something right here on the right side. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a tingling feeling right here.
Keep going. Don't forget to go under the feet. It's important to go under the feet because you can find things that big holes in the bottom.
Something down here too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tickle my feet.
Okay, so you found a couple of holes. Now let me scan too. Please, Lord, show me if there are any holes in Tommy's system, grid system. I got one there and one here. Okay, just about where you said too. Mm-hmm. So everybody will feel differently. So what we're going to do when we're done assessing, we're going to say a prayer petition for the Lord to fix these holes, because all of my work is based on faith healing, okay? And let me tell you, the minute you say it, the Lord kicks into action and it will be repaired. So
it should be said, so it shall be done.
That's right.
You have to ask.
That's right, because we have free will. So if you don't step onto your path the way that Jesus came to show us, guess what? It doesn't happen for you. People think it just automatically happens, but it really doesn't. You know. Mm-hmm. So okay, so we're going to go to scan 2. Okay, so this one here, what we're going to do is see, we're going to get inside the aura now. You see how there's the little figure there? So we're going to be, let's say this is my left hand, this is my right hand, right? So I'm going to say to Jesus, this is my left, this is my right. please show me where Melanie has holes on the inside of her aura for the grids. See, and I can see she's got big holes right here. Because remember, they do it in size for me. Oops, I got to make a little room and go down. Yeah, big holes around the feet, too. Now you ask and see if you can feel it.
What do you want me to do?
Well, we're going to go right around and we're going to picture Mother Mary being on the table here, about that size. Okay. Melanie is going to be that size, okay? And you're going to go around, see if you can feel any holes in her system. And if you can't feel it, I want you to ask Jesus to make it stronger for you.
He's making it stronger already.
Okay.
Now I'm getting it around the shoulder area right here.
Around the shoulders. Mm-hmm. Go down to the bottom, see what you find there.
I'm not getting the feeling of energy there. Mm-hmm. That could be, like we discussed before, it might be dropping down through the openings of the chakras. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting like nothing there.
Yeah. See, she doesn't have anything on the bottom. There's big holes
She's not encompassed.
Yeah. In other words, see, we should be encircled by our spiritual body, but Melanie, as a healer, she does all this healing work, and sometimes you get breaks from the energies you're absorbing. So the goal is to learn how to fix them, because this is how you assess for someone what needs to be done. Okay. So now, you want to try Tommy?
Sure.
Okay, so just well, you see what to say. Just ask Jesus to show you any holes in Tommy's body in the grid system.
Be gentle, I'm young.
Yes, be gentle.
I'm coming right in the center.
Mm-hmm. So
both sides almost.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a problem there.
You might have to go up higher to get to the bottom of the feet. Might have to hold your arms up higher to get to the bottom of the feet, because you want to make sure you get to the bottom of the feet. This is why we don't want to start too big.
On the sides. Yeah, it was more right in the center I was getting.
Waist area?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having trouble.
Now, let me ask you something. Do you ever keep your phone in your pockets?
Yes.
You do not do that. Phone, I'm sorry to scold you, but you know, these electromagnetic frequencies are frying our organs. I just saw a video last week where they put 4 cell phones with a steak in a pan,
they cooked the steak,
and they cooked the steak with the 4 cell phones when they rang them in 3 minutes. Now imagine if you have it on your body, it's cooking whatever's close to it.
So take your cell phones when you go camping.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is dangerous. So anything that you have, try to keep it at least 3 feet from you. If you have a computer right next to your leg under your desk, move it away. Move it as far away as you can get it. Anything electrical. If you sleep next to the bed with a telephone or your cell phone next to the bed, once again, you're burning holes wherever that is.
So
because
in other words, what you're saying is that we are electronic people, and the overexposure to other electronics?
EMFs, right. It's the EMFs, the electrical things. And, you know, think of it kind of like a spider web, where it's really very fine until you do a lot of work to strengthen it. So it's real easy to break them. And everybody has them anyway, because when we first learn to walk or play sports and we have accidents, all this stuff is broken. And like I said, most people are only walking around on a 3 or 4 grid system when we need 7, and we're going to need 12. So we have to get this fixed up for everybody to be healthy, happy, and terrific.
Are we going to develop into the 12, or is that going to be given to us?
No, as we do this work, as we will build it, as the energy flows and you repetitively do this work,
we'll gain another layer.
You will gain another layer, and then you'll gain another layer, and then you'll gain another layer. And as you gain the layers, what happens is the chakra that's above it becomes activated. And what that means is, yes, this is how you get into your own relationship with God, because now, as you're getting up here, you're connected about here, this chakra up here, to your higher self, who is your main part of your soul that stays up in heaven. Okay?
May I ask a question?
Sure.
I'm sure other people probably thinking about this at home, but what about like the electrical interferences within your home, or what about if you're by power lines and things like that?
Oh yeah, well, you know, I mean, power lines are really bad. In fact, at one point my master bedroom was on the 3rd floor. I had a transformer outside there. I blew it up. I blew the darn thing up and it fried a poor squirrel at the same time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Good eating, I hear someplace.
Oh my God, you know, so yes.
She was out there, she took a shotgun, and shot the transformer. It was,
Not
the squirrel
exactly.
was just an oversight. you
Not
know.
exactly true, but I was amazed because at that
Okay,
time I was
lied.
taking some energy classes, and I went and I told my teacher that this transformer blew out near my house, and she said, "You blew it up. You got to learn how to control your energy, right?" Well, I'm like, "Oh my God, you got to be kidding me!"
Well, there's one in front of my house. I can't stand it being there.
Well, yeah, and you know what? It's not good because there was one study that was done that people that have them too close to them, that they get leukemia or some form of cancer, because the constant interference in our own bodies, in our grid system, and in our spiritual body, it interferes. It just interferes. So it's best to
So doing
move.
this exercise on yourself every day, or
Well, you're not
clearing
really
it.
doing it on yourself, because as the prayers are set up,
Okay.
we send the energy and the vibration of love to God, and we ask God to send it back to facilitate us. This is how miracles are created, because
Sure.
it's not us doing the work now.
right. But you're
it's God.
requesting it
Oh,
on
yeah.
a daily basis.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Good.
Awesome. Saying we're going to get 10 minutes left?
Yes.
Okay, so now we better move along because we're timing out here. So now we get to the next illustration, which I believe is number 12. Okay, so now same thing. We're gonna let the Lord know that this is the back of the body, this is the right of the body. You see the being there turned sideways, and at that point, you are going to scan the front and the back of the body, so that you can assess if there's damage on the front or the back of the body. Okay, you can put that image down now, I think. So we'll just do a quick illustration on that to show you how to do this illustration, because you want to check the sides, you want to check outside of it, and you want to check the back of the
When
body.
you check the size, do you do it within the aura, or do you do it exterior of the aura?
Inside.
Inside the aura, okay.
Yeah, because the first scan, holographic scanning, is on the outside of your spiritual body. And then you want to get inside, because sometimes you can find things in there that need to be removed or that's damaging the body. We've all heard of someone who was sick and they couldn't find the answer, right? Why they were sick. Well, you know what? Most of the time when you go in and check it this way, you'll find that there's something there impeding that body right there in that spot. So when we do this, we're going to do, okay, so we're going to scan the front and back. So I'm going to say, okay, let me see Tommy's front and back of his body if there's any holes in the grid system. And there is a big one there around the shoulder, probably from the cell phones, and this is probably from the computer all the way down, you see. So the computer and the cell phones, you try to keep them when they're not in use as far away as you can to get them there. So you want to try it? Try that exercise on Melanie and vice versa, so you can see it. You try. Don't do it to yourself because you can break parts of your spiritual body. I made that mistake. That's how I know. And it was painful
Kind
too.
of a spiritual brisk.
Oh my God, it was not fun. And yes, it was painful. I tell you that. It needed a lot of
Snip
repair.
off the tip. Boop. There you go. Okay, let me try this. It's funny because I'm getting it at basically the breast area and at the hips area.
Yeah, well, they can be anywhere. You know what I mean? And
It's funny because I'm coming down and I feel like regular, energy, and all of a sudden it enhances. Then it lets go. Then it enhances. I'm doing it now. It's doing it again.
yeah, see, and sometimes people will even look like a flower, because they have so many holes. So if you can't feel it too well, you just ask the Lord to make it stronger for you. And it takes a little practice, but once you see this, you know that we got to finish up. Okay, so you want to try it real quick,
Sure.
and then we're going to send out the healing for the grid repair for everyone.
I'm getting stomach area.
See, so what that means is that when we're getting into the body now, because remember we scanned out before and big holes there, it's actually right next to the physical body. So you see, this is how physical illness occurs, because now it's gotten through your grid system, your vehicle, your spiritual body, which protects your physical body. And so once it gets to the body, that's when you start having your physical distress. If you can catch this ahead of time, you don't have the physical challenges. So that's the goal. That's the goal.
When people read the auras, they always say that certain areas, when the things are bad, there's a different color there that coincides with something. There's a problem in that area. I mean, when you do your grid scanning, do you see that aura?
That's when I'm turning on my vision.
Because some people can't see it.
Yeah, see, that's the reason for this, because not everybody has a clairvoyant sight that they can look into the body to see the holes. Not everybody has clairvoyant healing that they can hear God or the Lord saying, you know, there's breaks in there. Fix the grid system. We need to fix the grid system. So this is a method, this holographic scanning, that you can feel, and everybody can feel if you give it a little practice. Okay, so we're going to send out the prayer for grid repair to all of you. So can you please put up that grid repair so that people can see it? And again, this is on my this is on my website, so you can go there and copy this out. And most people need to do, this done at least 30 times. And when I say that, I say once a week, once every 2 weeks you do this, because it takes time to formulate and repair. So I'm going to read it out loud, and then we'll send the healing out to you. We send energy to you, God, in the vibration of unconditional love, and ask in the name of Jesus Christ that you send the energy back to facilitate the work we're doing here today. We ask your Holy Spirit to place protection around us and in our sphere of influence for a period of 10 days. Please send your Holy Spirit to repair any holes in, we're going to say my, everybody in their head say my, grid system in all worlds, all dimensions, wherever, whatever that is appropriate, that we be made whole and healthy. And we thank you, Lord. We thank you and praise you for the healing, the light, and your protection. Thy will be done.
Amen. Amen.
Now, amen. So if you would just bring it back. So we're going to send the energy out to you with this, and you will experience this. And we're also very interested to know of any things that's changed, any miraculous healings you have just from this, because you may find that this will fix something really that's been bothering you. Okay?
They can contact us on our Facebook page, and we will read some of your testimonies on the show if you contact us on Facebook on the God's Way YATUVAY, or the symbol YTVY.
Yes, we do have a new Facebook page, God's Way, too, that you can connect with us and see what we post daily, the different prayers and so on to bring you forward. And again, you can watch us over and over again, because each time you watch it, you receive this healing from us and from the Lord, because it's really not us doing it. We're just a conduit.
To become more knowledgeable, too, and that opens up the next phase.
Yeah.
It'll really make a difference in your life. It'll get you on the right path.
Yes, it will. Once you start doing this too, Melanie's right. This will get you on the path that Jesus came to show us the way.
You'll start feeling better. You'll see changes in your life that are very positive, and it just brings, more gratification.
God puts the right people on your path.
Yep.
They put the right people in front of you, people who also need you to help them. As far as healing is concerned, I find that a lot. That I ask every morning before I go out that God put the people on my path that may need my help. And,
yes, because we all have teachers.
Yeah.
That come into our path.
It's just so funny, the synchronicities that happen once you start to connect with God and your angels.
Well, I want to ask you, who do you think put up those holographic scans? Who do you think did it? I mean, we asked the Lord, right? But it's your angels. Hence the name of the title, Working with Your Angels. That just didn't appear.
Right.
I mean, somebody put it there for you to feel. That's your angels. Right. So anybody that successfully accomplished that, what we just learned here today and showed you and taught you, when you see that, you realize you're working with your angels, okay?
Mary, Queen of Angels.
Yeah, Mary, Queen of Angels. I am certain she's in the studio with us. So we ask you to go to the website and print out the prayers, because I know it's difficult for you to see it on the TV screen, and say these prayers regularly. And again, you can watch the episode over and over again to receive the healing over and over again. And make sure you stick with us next show.
Stay in faith, and God will find a way for you.
So we're gonna be wrapping down now. And so, oh, you know what?
Quickly, the benediction prayer, that's on your site?
Oh, yes, there is a prayer that I had hoped that Tommy had channeled through our prophet here, and it's magnificent. And for those of you who have in financial abundance, I've written a lesson plan for it, and I have it posted on my website under the prayers. And I had hoped to squeeze it in today, but we're running out of time, so we'll probably include it as another lesson at a future date. But in the meantime, it is on the website under the prayers. And if you do this, your money problems will start to cease, and your other problems will start to cease once you walk on your path as well. So,
I guess that's almost
Thank you for having me.
yes, and
I always learn something from you.
Oh, well, thank you.
And it's been a blessing to be in your presence as well.
Thank you.
So thank
Okay,
you.
so we want to thank everybody, the crew, the station managers,
Sponsors.
the sponsors, our guests, and everybody here, our studio audience, and so forth and so on. So thank you very much for coming, and come see us again to learn more
Blessings.
next time. Blessings to you.